Welcome to NIOS. In this video, we will discuss Chapter 4 and we will talk about the rise of imperialism and colonialism in the world. As we have already studied in the previous class, that with rapid industrialization in the Western countries, there arose the need of raw material for industries as well as markets for machine-made goods. This led to the birth of imperialism, which meant complete control over political and economic affairs of a country. The country that conquered another land was called imperial country, while the slave country was called as colony. Both imperialism and colonialism are related to each other. As colonialism was the practice of winning and making countries dependent upon the victorious nation. Do you know that by the end of 19th century, almost all the Asian and African countries had become colonies of European nations? Before moving forward, let us try to understand that why Asian and African countries could be colonized. The most important reason was that the countries of Asia and Africa were politically and militarily weak. Therefore, they were easily enslaved by the European powers. We should not forget that these countries had rich resources but were industrially backward. Hence, they fell under the trap of colonial powers. With rapid industrialization, means of transport and communication also developed. Therefore, now it became easy for imperial countries to transport goods and armed forces to colonies. Feeling of racial superiority developed among the European nations, and they started believing that the people of Asia and Africa were inferior to them. The term white man's burden came to be used around this time. White man's burden was a feeling of racial superiority among European people that made them feel that it was their natural duty to civilize the backward countries by colonizing them. Spreading Christianity and making Asian and African countries civilized became chief goal of imperial nation of the world. New and far away countries were discovered by explorers around this time. Thus, Europeans became greedy to occupy the wealth and resources of these nations. Around this time, many new lands were discovered by the Europeans. Our country India was one such land. Do you know the name of the man who discovered India? Well, I can give you a clue. His name starts with the letter V. Oh yes, you guessed it right. His name was Vasco da Gama. He was a Portuguese explorer and he was the first European to reach India. He reached Calicut, which is situated in the state of Kerala, in the May month of the year 1498. We will now study in detail about how the policy of imperialism extended to different parts of the world. First, we will try to find out how Africa was imperialized. You must be surprised to know that once upon a time, Africa was called as the Dark Continent. Do you know the reason for this? Due to poor means of transport and communication, very little information was available about this land and its people. Therefore, Africa came to be known as the Dark Continent. However, we must remember that Africa was rich in items like ivory, gold, diamond, timber, and its people could be made slaves. The weak political and military condition of African continent gave chance to the European nations to imperialize it. Due to their superior military power and modern technology, the European countries were easily able to colonize the African nations. France, Britain, and Germany had the maximum colonies in Africa. Africa became chief source of slave trade, as native people were sent to work as slaves in plantations in America. You must be shocked to know that slave market was organized in Lisbon. This was the capital of Portugal. Now let us move further and discuss the process of imperialism in Asia. India was a big Asian nation with a historic civilization and vast natural resources. The Europeans fought among themselves for dominations over India. By the way, do you know our country was colonized by which European nation? You are correct. Britain is the answer. After a long struggle with France, it was Britain that was able to colonize India. We would know about this in detail in the next chapter. China was another big Asian country whose products were in high demand in Europe. However, there was no demand for European goods in China. So, this created one-sided trade that was not liked by British merchants. Therefore, they started to smuggle opium to China. This led to opium wars. However, China was defeated in these wars. An important event from this time was the Boxer Rebellion or the Boxer Uprising that took place in China against the activities of Christian missionaries. Colonial powers which led to exploitation of China. This rebellion took place between the year 1899 till 1901. Most of the South and Southeast Asian countries like Nepal, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and Vietnam were occupied by European countries and their resources were exploited by them. However, one Asian country remained independent, which was Thailand, also known as Siam. Unlike other countries of Asia, Japan herself became an industrialized nation with military and economic power. She became a big imperial power and occupied many colonies like Korea, Manchuria, Singapore, Philippines, and Burma. We have already studied the growth of imperialism in the world. Now, let us study the impact of these processes on the colonies. Imperialism mostly had a negative effect on the colonies and their citizens. As the foreign powers exploited these resources and wealth of slave nations for their own benefit. Feeling of racial superiority among the imperial countries led to worst kind of treatment against the native people by the white Europeans. In South Africa, the white people badly treated the black or the dark-skinned native citizens of the country. This practice was called racial discrimination, also known as apartheid. Here it becomes necessary to mention the name of Nelson Mandela. He was an anti-apartheid freedom fighter who later became the first black president of South Africa. The policy of apartheid came to an end in the year 1994 with the formation of new government. The bad treatment of the native people killed their self-respect and they lost confidence. Thus, the people of most ancient cultures of Asia and Africa started feeling inferior to the white people and their culture. As the European countries used natural and economic resources of their colonies for their own benefit, the economies of these countries were badly affected. It is true that the European countries occupied Asian and African nations for their own benefit and exploited their resources. However, imperialism had some good results also. For example, new means of transport and communication were developed in these countries like railways, canals, roads, telegraph and telephone. As a result of this, it became possible to travel to the most far off places and communicate quickly. All this created a feeling of unity among the citizens of these colonies. With the spread of modern education, ideas of freedom, liberty, and equality spread among the population of the colonies, and feelings of nationalism and patriotism were developed. Here it becomes important to note that the European nations kept fighting among themselves for control over larger territories. This rivalry between the imperial nations was one of the main causes of the two world wars that occurred in the 20th century. Now let us quickly summarize what we have learnt in this lesson. First, we discussed about the concept of imperialism and colonialism. Second, we discussed about the causes of spread of imperialism in Asian and African countries. Third, we discussed about spread of imperialism in different parts of the world. Fourth, we discussed about the positive and negative impact of imperialism and colonialism. I hope that you liked this video on the topic Rise of Imperialism and Colonialism, and your concepts on the topic would have become clearer. If you have any query, you can send email at signlanguage@nios.ac.in. For more details, you can visit our website www.nios.ac.in. Thank you.
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय शिक्षा संस्थान मानव संसाधन विकास मंत्रालय भारत सरकार का एक स्वायत्त संगठन है। 67वां गणतंत्र दिवस NIOS के लिए विशेष आयोजन का साक्षी रहा। यह आयोजन था एक सामाजिक सद्भावना के संकेत के रूप में। माननीय मानव संसाधन विकास मंत्री श्रीमती स्मृति जुबीन ईरानी ने दिव्यांगों को आमंत्रित किया गणतंत्र दिवस 26 जनवरी 2016 के परेड में सम्मिलित होने के लिए और इसके अवलोकन के लिए।
मेरा NIOS से विशेष निवेदन है, 26 जनवरी को NIOS के सौजन्य से ये स्पेशल विद्यार्थी विशेष रूप से दिल्ली आए और गणतंत्र दिवस की परेड में शामिल हों, उस परेड को स्वयं देखें। दिल्ली आएंगे? आना होगा ना सबका?
इन दिव्यांग शिक्षार्थियों के लिए दिल्ली में अशोक रोड स्थित YWCA में ठहरने का विशेष प्रबंध किया गया। NIOS द्वारा इन दिव्यांग शिक्षार्थियों को राजघाट दिल्ली, NIOS मुख्यालय और आगरा भ्रमण के विशेष प्रबंध भी किए गए। NIOS द्वारा इन दिव्यांगों के लिए राजपथ के 20 नंबर अहाते में परेड देखने के विशेष प्रबंध भी किए गए।
समस्याओं का इलाज शायद सिर्फ हमारे पास NIOS। पढ़ना लिखना सीखो वो मेहनत करने वालों, पढ़ना लिखना सीखो वो भूख से मरने वालों।
दूर दराज क्षेत्रों से आए इन दिव्यांग शिक्षार्थियों के चेहरों की रौनक और आंखों की चमक से खुशी और सौहार्द साफ सी झलकती दिख रही है।
NIOS के थ्रू हम लोगों को ये मौका मिला है कि हम लोग आगरा और दिल्ली की सैर कर सके। इस एक्सपीरियंस से हमारे बच्चे बहुत ही एक्साइटेड और खुश हैं और हमारी पूरी टीम मेंबर, हमारे प्रिंसिपल सर, सभी को ये मौका बहुत अच्छा लगा है और वो लोग सब खुश हैं।
अच्छा, एक बात बताइए, हमने किसी ने सुना कि आप मोदी जी से बहुत पास से मिले क्या? पहली बार मोदी ऐसे कर रहे थे? कितने पास थे? दूर थे? पास थे? ये ऐसे हैं? आपको बोला आंखों में देखा क्या? आंखों में देखा क्या? आंखों में देखा।
ये इंटरनेशनल टेबल टेनिस खिलाड़ी है। इन्होंने जहाँ गई है वो इंडोनेशिया गई है, जापान से खेल के आई है और इंडिया में कई एक जगह पे खेली है। तो वो अपना सारा एक्सपीरियंस ये साइन लैंग्वेज के द्वारा बताई है कि हम हर जगह पे जा रहे हैं और खेल रहे हैं। मैं बहुत खुश हूँ।
तो यहाँ आने के बाद लगता है कुछ और अलग ज़िंदगी मिल गया।
हमारे पेरेंट्स भी नहीं सोच सकते थे कि हमको ऐसा कुछ मिलने वाला है यहाँ, इसलिए मैं NIOS की बहुत ज़्यादा शुक्रगुजार हूँ और मैं इनसे हमारी एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो हमें और ऊंचा तक ले जाएं और जहाँ तक हमसे होगा मेहनत करना, हम मेहनत करने में से पीछे नहीं हटेंगे।
हमें दिल्ली आने में बहुत अच्छा लगा।
पाहो लालात थतुल मोहला चेना निकनो अलग।
We saw the Republic Day parade and the fighter planes and Assam and all the jhakias, and it was superb, it was brilliant. Yeah, even Prime Minister we met, we saw him, we shook hands with him. Now the third day, NIOS chairman office we have visited and we have met the chairman. And how do you feel? It was all good, right? Yeah, all of them are very thankful to NIOS for all the support that they do. Thank you.
NIOS के लिए ये सौभाग्य की बात है कि इतने सारे बच्चे जो दिव्यांग हैं वो यहाँ आए और इसकी शोभा बढ़ाए। कई बच्चों ने ये कहा कि उनके लिए सौभाग्य का अवसर था, लेकिन मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि NIOS के लिए ये सौभाग्य का अवसर था कि ये बच्चे समय निकाल पाए, इतनी कठिनाइयों के बावजूद यहाँ आए और इतने प्रसन्न हैं कि अपनी संस्था में वो आए हैं।
NIOS प्रतिबद्ध है समाज के दिव्यांगों के प्रति गुणवत्ता परक शिक्षा प्रदान करने की दिशा में।